Have you ever set off on a stretch of river with no expectation, only to be completely blown away? That's exactly what happened here on this quintessential Ozark stream. It had been exactly 1 year since I'd taken Lisa out kayaking, and I really wanted to go someplace special, and something that was going to be beautiful and close to home. And when canvassing the area on Google Earth, I found what looked to be a pretty promising 8-mile stretch of river. This was only my second time, and Lisa's first time out on an Ozark river. We had a lot of mileage to cover, and of course the water was a little low considering it was late fall, early winter. The goal was simple: don't fall into the frigid water and make it to the takeout before sundown.
If you can believe it, we were actually supposed to be at the Buffalo National River today in Arkansas, about an hour and a half, 2 hours east of here. But I've been spending all week out here in the Oklahoma Ozarks exploring them, and I just said, man, we're doing a change of plans, and we're gonna come tackle the Barren Fork because it's beautiful. I was out here fishing yesterday, catching smallmouth bass.
We also had 2 brand new kayaks and wanted to get a feel for them, trying to avoid that trial by fire downriver. So we took a few paddle strokes up top and prepared for what's to come.
And I can't wait to see what's downstream. We're gonna have some skinny water today.
I will be completely honest and say that I was pretty nervous after bumping and grinding down that first chute. If they were all like this, we might not make it to the end. There's plenty of water moving through the system, but it's a pretty wide creek, and so on the chutes it spreads out and gets super shallow. Hopefully they weren't all like this.
The water clarity out here is just insane. I mean, we're used to some clear water in Texas, but this is a whole different level. 10 feet deep. You can see straight to the bottom. All right, we're gonna take this left angle.
Down trees were another consideration I might have overlooked.
Look at that. I don't know if I've got the flexibility in me. This is gonna shoot you into the bank, so just be ready. You handled that like a pro.
This brilliant pool definitely caught our attention, so we pulled over for lunch, and I had to wet a line. The colors were just so crazy. I couldn't believe this was Oklahoma.
The trickiest part of this float, and really any Ozark river, is gonna be the down trees for these valley type rivers. Now, once you get into the rocky creeks, you'll need to watch out for trees and rapids. But up here, it's really just the trees. There's a total blockage. So this is the type of thing that's sketchy out here. There's a complete blockage in the creek, and that's gonna be a thing. We're probably gonna encounter a few more of those. But whenever that happens, we like to just beach ourselves and then drag the kayaks around here. So why did we come out here? Well, this week I've been kind of exploring the Western Ozarks, which is in Oklahoma, up in Tulsa for Thanksgiving, where my in-laws live. And we were supposed to go to the Buffalo River today and do a camping trip, but I'm not kidding. Like, spending all week in the Ozarks in Oklahoma, I told Lisa we just have to come here instead because it is so pretty. I mean, this might be some of the clearest water in the US. I don't know how it gets clear, except for right out of a spring head. And so I charted out a route last night between a wildlife management area and then a scenic rivers access point at a bridge. And oh, Lisa is cruising. And so we made a huge pivot and elected to come down here instead. Literally chose Oklahoma over the Buffalo River. So that doesn't mean we're not gonna go to the Buffalo River, but we'll probably do it sometime in spring when we can give it proper time, because we don't want it to be a rush trip, and that's kind of what it would be since it's Thanksgiving week. But once again, another beautiful river or creek that we just have all to ourselves. It's beautiful out here, absolutely stunning. A bunch of jumping fish.
It was this part of the river that made me realize we were paddling in a giant wild aquarium. I don't know how else to describe it. The fishery just seemed so healthy. There was huge largemouth bass living amongst other types of species like smallmouth bass, carp, and I couldn't even identify some of them. It was amazing to see all the activity below the surface and just how healthy everything was. I haven't seen many places like that, to be completely honest, especially because it had a wild feel. There was basically no development on this stretch either, which is probably one of the biggest contributing factors to such a healthy ecosystem. I was thinking this would be the pinnacle of subsurface activity on this stretch river, but I couldn't be more wrong on that. This was just the beginning. What we were going to get into later on was way bigger scale.
Mayhem. Good job. Of course, we always trust remote designs to keep our important gear dry. Better put it away. Good thing about the roll top is it's pretty quick. Put your gear in, 3 rolls, shut it, good to go. Yeah, this is spicy. I'm not gonna send Lisa down that. All right, we're gonna send it in the ultralight. Nice, very responsive. All right, I'll meet you down there. Yeah, the CK1 is just way more substantial than the ultralight. Totally different feel. Ultralight has so much play, which can be fun once you get used to it. I'm used to the Old Town Sportsman 120 that is basically a platform barge, nearly impossible to tip. With these you get a lot more maneuverability, but you can tip them a little easier. I'm not saying they're easy to tip, but that is a sacrifice you make for being able to get input from your strokes. So overall, once you get used to it, it's way better to paddle. But I never had any complaints about my Old Town and the way it paddled. And the Old Town was really good at skinny water. So far, no problems in the CK1 or the ultralight. Look at you throwing that thing around. I bet if you looked at the beginning of the video, the way you were paddling versus how you're paddling now, it's totally different. Yeah, doing awesome. So pretty. Crystal clear water. The Oklahoma Ozarks are, man, they're impressing. This is really cool.
Now this part was special. Lisa was just a bit ahead of me and pointed out what looked like to be a few fish. Once we got into the thick of it, it was very apparent this was more than just a few fish. This was the most brilliant display of an aquatic setting I could have ever imagined, and I don't know if we'll ever see something like it again, but this was amazing.
This is so cool.
One thing that immediately stood out to me was the size of each of the specimens. They were huge. And not only that, but the amount of food it would take to feed an entire population that we're only seeing on this, small section of river. Not to mention the carp, there was a ton of gar, if you look closely, and bass. Like, it's just amazing that there's so much plentiful food for these species to thrive. It's a testament to how wild these rivers are. These clear water rivers give us a window into what's going on beneath the surface, which I think is an important part of protection. The more people that know what's going on in the rivers they utilize, I think the better off we'll all be. A major shout out to the state of Oklahoma for designating this as a scenic river. They've done that for a few streams in this particular area, and I think it really shows. Hopefully they continue to grow and expand this program, because it's clearly working to keep these places wild. Unfortunately, we couldn't stay in that hole forever and had to move on downriver. What a special experience. But we had to beat that sun because it was going down fast.
All right, this one dead ends in a tree, so be ready to navigate. There you go, hard, hard, hard. Very hard, as hard as you can. Lean right, lean right. There you go. Oh, Lisa, watch out. Back pedal, back pedal. Oh boy, that is a very precarious spot to be in. The back of these kayaks is like a sail, and the moment it catches current, it flips you. And your rear end was reversing into current, and you were flat, not going anywhere, and that's how your kayak flips. And that is literally worst case scenario on a river. The only reason I'm that exaggerated is because I know how wrong stuff can go so quick. There's always a tree right where you want to go. There you go, good job.
Well, as we approach the bridge, we can start to hear cars. I just want to reflect real quick. The Barren Fork, a classic Ozark River, out here in Oklahoma of all places. If I had to guess a state with some of the clearest water in the Union, I probably would not have guessed Oklahoma. And what we've come to find is that it's not just the clear water that brings you here, it's all the stuff you can see because the water is clear. So think about the thousands of fish that we saw swimming around, cruising, all the nature we got to appreciate, being able to see how the current carves out the riverbed and the intricacies of navigation that causes. Because this is no slouch of a river. Gosh, me and Lisa just had such a good time. My heart rate got pumping. But you know what? I'm coming back here because this is just a special place. And I'm going to go do all the other creeks around here as well. I would challenge you to go check out a creek near your house. Maybe skip that huge destination and look for something in your backyard, because you just never know what you're going to find.
Well, we did it.
So tired.
That was a fun one. All right, the Barren Fork, A+.